Mother and her two children. Take a look at this photo. Officials say they abruptly disappeared last night. The family drives a black RAV4 similar to this one here. You can call 911 if you see them.
Also on Denver 7 News at 8 o'clock now on Local 3, we have new details on the deal to avoid a freight rail strike that would have crippled shipping across the country.
A grandmother and grandson in Golden are recovering after a vicious pit bull attack in their backyard. What police say it took to break up the animals.
And relief could be coming for more Colorado family budgets. We're checking in on statewide plans for pre-K. So we take a look outside, starting with a little bit of a cooler day for those who are headed to school this morning.
Yeah. It's pleasant though. We're in the 50s now. You can see a little bit more sunshine early on. It will be one of the cooler days here on our Super 7 day, and we'll start to see an increase of clouds here in town by midday today. More rain on the way. Should be in the low to mid 60s between about 9 and 10 o'clock, and then 70s this afternoon. So it's a few degrees below normal. Denver looking at a high of about 77. Same thing there in Greeley. Low to mid 70s in Fort Collins and low 70s near Castle Rock. 60s and showers already hitting the mountains this morning, and that wet weather will gradually move east. And so you can see right around 3 to about 4 o'clock, some wet conditions again for the metro area. So it's going to be another wet drive home. Things will gradually dry out for the weekend, and it's going to be hot. We have another day of 90s on our Super 7 day. I'll show you when coming up.
And right now we have those wet conditions up along I-70, Glenwood Springs through Glenwood Canyon. Yesterday we had the canyon closed because of a flash flood warning. You can see how wet it is in Vail right now and at Vail Pass with a lot of splashback to deal with. Take a look at the drive here in town. We've had some very slow traffic, a bunch of problems. I-76 near Federal, that left lane crash is still causing delays all the way back to I-25. If you hear about the crash at I-76 right near 88th Avenue or the Commerce City split, it is long cleared. Westbound I-70 right here at Central Park, that crash is blocking up multiple lanes there. Take a look at 225 with the crash on the southbound side right after Mississippi here. That's in traffic, backing us up. And the northbound side is also real slow, and the drive times across I-25 on the south side also pretty substantial right now.
Overnight, Westminster firefighters rescued 4 people from a burning townhome. They are now in the hospital, but fortunately with non-life-threatening injuries. Firefighters say sprinklers helped contain the fire to just this one unit. Investigators are still looking into the cause.
New just this hour, we now know President Biden was called into the meeting negotiating a tentative deal to avoid a rail workers' strike. Talks went 20 hours overnight, and the president, who is a longtime union supporter and Amtrak fan, announced the deal around 3 o'clock this morning Mountain Time. Not all the terms have been released, but we know workers will get immediate raises and bonuses, plus pay increases over 5 years.
Taking a live look now in London, where droves of people have lined up to say goodbye to their queen, Elizabeth II. She passed away 1 week ago today. 750,000 people are expected to come pay their respects. The line has stretched for nearly 4 miles around the River Thames as people have waited for their opportunity. Many paused inside Westminster Hall. Others have bowed. The funeral for the Queen will be held on Monday at Westminster Abbey. We will have special coverage over on Denver 7.
Arvada police officer Dylan Vakov will be laid to rest tomorrow. The memorial service starts at 10 a.m. at Flatirons Community Church in Lafayette. The service is open to anyone if you'd like to pay your respects. Denver 7 will also carry the service on air and on our streaming platforms. Meanwhile, the man accused of killing Officer Vakov appeared in court remotely yesterday. Sonny Almanza will be formally charged on Tuesday.
Terrifying moments in Golden. A grandmother and her grandson were attacked by 2 pit bulls in their backyard. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford is in Golden this morning. And Jessica, several police officers could barely get the dogs away from the woman.
Yeah, and you can imagine just what she was going through as she was dealing with that. Yes, so officers had to stand between the 2 pit bulls and that 89-year-old woman in order to help stop that attack. Ultimately, they did have to tase those 2 pit bulls. Here's a look back at some video from yesterday from that scene. This happened yesterday afternoon on West 1st Avenue here in Golden. The dogs attacked a 12-year-old, and he got away to a neighbor's house to call police. police. When officers arrived, there was a trail of blood going up to the house, and they found the dogs actively attacking a woman, that 89-year-old grandmother, in the backyard. And every time officers approached her, the dogs would circle the police. They shouted at the dogs, but that didn't work, and they had to use tasers and beanbag shotguns to get them to back off. That grandmother is hospitalized with critical injuries. The boy was airlifted to Children's Hospital. Police say the dogs involved in the attack are currently contained and are not a threat to the public. The victims did know the dogs, but it's not clear who they belong to. Now, I did check the city code, and Golden does not have a ban on pit bulls. However, it is unlawful here to have a vicious animal. So if your animal is involved in a vicious attack, it could be impounded or in some cases even put down. Live in Golden, I'm Jessica Crawford.
Thank you, Jessica. The Adams County District Attorney says there is still not enough evidence to file criminal charges after 5 people were found dead inside a Commerce City home from fentanyl poisoning. He says his team worked tirelessly to try to solve what was a tragic case. They even had extra help from Attorney General Merrick Garland and the Justice Department, but he says the evidence strongly shows the victims did not know they were taking cocaine laced with fentanyl.
Denver Mayor Michael Hancock submitted his 2023 budget proposal to the City Council. The $1.6 billion budget includes $36.5 million to expand behavioral health services for kids and young adults. It also has money for a public health hotspot program that will be similar to the public safety hotspot program. It will concentrate efforts in areas seeing high rates of drug overdoses, homeless camps, and violence.
We also want to make investments in telehealth and other mobile integrated approaches to care and treatment delivery. We also want to bolster the city's substance misuse response.
And the budget will also include funding to hire more police officers and provide more training. City Council will vote on the budget in November.
Well, after 4 months now, the Adams 14 School District has its accreditation once again with the state. The State Board of Education had stripped the district of its status in May following more than a decade of poor performance. The district said the loss of accreditation, though, was affecting their ability to hire teachers who didn't understand what that meant. The education commissioner said that was an unintended consequence, and they don't want to make the road ahead any more difficult for the district. Adams 14 is still facing a long reorganization process.
Colorado is already set to provide a minimum of 10 free hours of preschool per week to all 4-year-olds starting next year. But some kids could get twice as much, and we may soon know which kids will qualify. Today, an advisory group will meet to consider the eligibility requirements. Certainly, income will be one factor, but they may also consider children who are non-native English speakers or in foster care, among other things. The free preschool is set to start in the fall of 2023, paid for by a voter-approved tobacco tax. I asked the director of the state's new Department of Early Childhood if eventually we could see even more than 10 free hours.
What will Colorado continue to do to expand preschool for more kids and more hours?
Thank you for that question. Obviously, this is a great start. It's universal. So no matter what the income of the family, they are guaranteed 10 hours towards a part day or full day program. That saves families a lot of money. That could be anywhere from 25 to 50% of what a family would normally pay. We, again, look at this as an issue for all families. And so that 10 is just the beginning.
Yeah, after the advisory council comes up with the recommendation today, Dr. Roy will make a final decision on who will be eligible for the 20 weeks of free preschool. That should happen by the end of this month. Meanwhile, Denver families can sign up for the preschool program thanks to a Denver voter-supported effort. Families who sign up can get help of up to $850 per month paying for preschool. You can even have a higher income and still qualify for that funding. There are 260 preschool programs to choose from all over Denver. Some are schools like Clayton Early Learning. Others are daycare centers or home-based providers. For more information, go to dpp.org.
Still ahead, CU Boulder is opening up a new center to help all students learn more about Black culture.
And some roster changes ahead of the Broncos home opener. Who will step in for injured safety Justin Simmons?
And it's the first day of Hispanic Heritage Month, the events to celebrate Colorado's Latin influence.
My name is Cindy de la Torre. My roots are from Jalisco, Mexico, and the reason why I celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month is to celebrate family and, most importantly, our contributions to the entire community as a whole.